Hi, I just want to say thank you all for coming. And in this presentation, I just want to share 10 basic things that you need to know on chemical safety and how to practice it as a survival skill at home or at work. So knowing how to safely handle and store chemicals as a survival skill is practically done in any workplace or in a household. When we misuse chemicals, they can cause serious danger to our health, injury, and in some cases death. Chemicals can either do damage to us almost immediately or sometimes can cause a series of problems down the years. Some chemicals are poisonous or toxic, and some chemicals are corrosive and can cause burning or irritation to the skin and eyes. Other chemicals are flammable. There are certain chemicals that can explode if they're shaken or mixed with the wrong substance as plain as water. According to the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons, more than 7 million accidental poisonings are reported each year, with more than 75% involving children under the age of 6. Also, the U.S. Poison Control Centers records that a child is accidentally poisoned every 30 seconds at home. Really, the average American uses about 25 gallons of toxic hazardous chemical products per year in their homes. The EPA in 1985 reported that the toxic chemicals in the household cleaners are 3 times more likely to cause cancer than air pollution. Almost every day, 4 million people in the United States go to work as janitors, cleaners, maids, housekeepers, landscaping and groundskeeping workers, pesticide handlers, and other maintenance occupations. Over 3% of the workforce is employed in these jobs, which are among the lowest paying jobs in the country. The average wages aren't the worst thing about these jobs. These people are exposed to toxic chemicals in the workplace on a daily basis. According to the workers' compensation data, 6 out of 100 custodians have a lost time injury every year due to chemical exposure. The majority of injuries involve eye irritation and burns, skin irritation and burns, or breathing chemical fumes, and these are just short-term effects. According to the the chemicals used to clean our schools, homes, and workplaces often contain toxic chemicals linked with asthma, cancer, respiratory issues, hormone disruptions, and other negative health effects. Nearly each day, another 4 million people in the United States go to work as retail salespersons and cashiers. Many of those workers spend their days handling registered receipts that are often coated with a thin layer of bisphenol A, BPA coating, which may be transferred to fingers and onto food and into the mouth. BPA is associated with health effects such as hormones disruptions and reproductive issues. Another 400,000 people in the United States go to work in salons and spas and as hairdressers, hairstylists, cosmetologists, manicurists, and pedicurists. They are exposed to many other chemicals which are associated with respiratory issues, skin problems, and headaches. This means that some of the laborers in our lowest part of the pay scale workers who affect many of our lives each day are in danger of harming themselves and their families physically because of the toxic chemicals they work with daily. Many of these workers have no choice but to take the jobs that put them in harm's way. So, the next chapter I will explain to you 10 just very basic ways to avoid being, being exposed to chemicals and not knowing how to treat them, or even when there's a spill, how to clean them up and stuff. So, number 1, make sure that before you use any chemicals, they're properly labeled. Never use an unlabeled substance. Know how to safely dispose of used chemicals and how to clean up spills. Preferably use materials such as diapers or rags that you're willing to do away with, that can soak up the liquid chemicals. Wrap them up in a bag securely and dump it in the dumpster. Cat litter can also be used. Never dump chemicals down the sink. Separate chemicals which might react to one another. For instance, keep oxidizers away from fuels. Make sure that you understand the hazards of chemicals and techniques required for safe handling and storage. Wash your hands thoroughly with water and soap every time you use chemicals before eating or drinking. Follow all instructions on the label carefully. Do not mix any chemicals unless instructed to. Assume any unfamiliar chemical is hazardous. Be aware of what the chemical is supposed to do. Stop the process if the chemical is not doing what it's expected to do. Ensure emergency procedures are set in place, i.e. safety showers, eye washes, fire extinguishers, etc. And last but not the least, keep all sources of ignition away from chemicals. This means no smoking. Always be safe, and I hope that you enjoyed my speech. Now, do you have any questions for me?
So what chemicals are safe to use in the household?
Really, there's no safe chemicals, because every time we use a chemical is a chemical. You just have to read the label and make sure you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, there's always the internet. You can call I'm sure there's a number on the label somewhere that you can call and make sure that, it's safe for you to use. Wash your hands. Don't put any chemicals in your mouth, or if you have to use directly, work with a chemical, wear protective gloves or protective goggles, stuff to protect your skin and your body, period. So, do you understand?
Are there specific soaps for specific chemicals that you need to wash your hands with?
Not really, but I'm sure. Washing your hands is like the ultimate hand wash. That's the ultimate, unless the chemical says otherwise. That's why there's a material safety data sheet that can tell you exactly what you could do when you use this chemical. If it's a special chemical that you absolutely have to use some type of soap, it will be labeled on the chemical. If not, it's better. You better be safe than sorry. It's better for you to be safe than sorry. Or call your doctor immediately when something happens. Don't sit there and wait till it gets worse. Just be safe.